Are you really gonna edit this?
What do you mean? I've been editing them.
Yeah, you're Mr. AI. I know what you're doing back there.
You think I don't edit with my own hands?
Nah, you don't use these.
You don't think I use my fingers?
You go, hey Gemini, hey Sora, edit this.
There's gonna be like an AI catfish in this episode.
Right. You know what's funny about that fish? Yeah, he's gonna get him out of. Get this guy out of here. Welcome. Hello. How was your week? We'll start with you, Bev. How was your week? What did you do? Anything fun? Anything exciting this week?
Nothing too crazy. We're getting a winter storm here this weekend as well. Well, tonight. So a little bit of prep for that. Got my storm chips. I don't know if you guys know about storm chips where you're at.
Tell us about storm chips.
Please do.
There is a content creator named Frankie McDonald. He's an autistic man, and he makes weather announcements. Very excitedly. He's well known if you look him up on YouTube, that sort of thing, and he is adamant that everybody gets storm chips, and it became such a big thing. So before any storm, people go to the store, they buy out all of the Doritos, the Tostitos, all of them, and they hoard them at home. So when the power's out and it's freezing cold, at least you got some storm chips.
I wish you'd adopt that. Sean, are you guys seeing any part of this storm in Vegas?
Nah. I mean, a few clouds and cold for us is below 60, so that's what we got.
And Catfish, you're in sunny California, Los Angeles, the city of stars, which hasn't seen snow since 1973.
I mean, it's sunny out here, so
sounds miserable.
I'm telling you,
very miserable.
How do you make it, Catfish? I don't understand.
I don't know, man. Like, I'll tell you this: it was great a few days, and I was feeling that depression coming in, but then the sun came out, so I was like,
"Oh my God!"
Listen, you could stop. You could stop now.
This guy with the golden shoes.
I know. Crazy.
Bev's out here. She's out here doing extra snow lessons for extra money, how to drive in the snow, and this guy's walking around in sunshine.
Right. And flip-flops.
Flippy floppies. Well, friends, our episode today is gonna fall squarely on name, image, and likeness, also known to the layperson as NIL.
You see the name?
As Catfish knows, this has been the bane of my existence for eons, and I'm so glad that you're here, Catfish, because you can back me up on this. I have been calling out the NCAA about this for 10 years, Fish?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, right?
It's been a minute, yeah.
It's been so now we're here, name and image likeness, which allows athletes to make money off of their exactly that name, image, and likeness. So, just for those who don't know how we got here, a guy by the name of Ed O'Bannon sued the NCAA and EA Sports some time ago. What was this? 2009. And was like, yo, why is my face, body, and number in this video game and I haven't seen a check? Sean, do you remember this?
I do remember that. So, it was the time where I wasn't on scholarship, but a lot of my teammates, of course. And, they couldn't give you anything. So to see that, to hear about that, it was like, oh, man, okay, he's got a battle. But, as you know, he won, which is great. So, and here we are.
Well, just to elaborate on the winning, EA Sports settled out of court. They were like, hey, listen, we ain't got no dog in this fight. Here's $40 million. We're done. Okay. And the NCAA was like, oh, no, we're in this lawsuit alone. And they were trying to figure out, they kept prolonging. And there's a legal term for this, Bev. I don't remember what it's called, but when you keep just elongating the case, extending, I don't know. I'm not a doctor nor a lawyer. But there is a legal term. And so anyway, the NCAA said, well, fine, we're going to settle. And you know what? Anybody can do anything. And now your own name, image, and likeness, you can make money off. This was after Reggie Bush had gotten his Heisman Trophy taken for the exact same thing. Catfish, I know you remember this.
Oh, of course I remember this. It's like yesterday. But the funny thing is, so many people were making money. Like, let's say Nick Saban and those cronies over there in Alabama. Nick Saban had all these car dealerships, and he was giving hey, you want a Charger? listen, come here. I'm gonna get you a charger.
All the
I'm gonna leave
football
a
players have
suitcase.
chargers.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave a suitcase at your door with some cash and just come to Alabama. Yeah, everybody's been doing it for so long, man. But you know, they hate University of Miami. They hate USC. So we always get the brunt of it.
They hate UNLV. I mean, we're still stuck in a
I don't know
quagmire.
about all that.
They hate UNLV. Trust me, we've been since Tarka left, and he actually fought the NCAA and won, undisclosed
Right.
amount. But ever since then we've been at least the football. I mean, the basketball program has been let's just say subpar since the days when I played. So
Oh, it's
Right,
just
so
like
one-
the
Go
first
ahead,
team.
go
My
ahead,
bad.
Coach.
The first team was like in the '80s, the SMU,
yeah,
and they were playing players back then, and SMU just nosedive since then because all that Texas oil money. So now we're in the space we are in right now.
Yeah. So one thing that I really liked initially about name, image, likeness is that it immediately gave a lot more power to the players. Bev, this is going to be closer to your age group because you're closer to college than any of us. It gave players in that age group a lot of money, power, and control, which are three things a young person can make a mess of if they're not careful. But it gave them a lot of money, power, and control. Do you think that amount of power and control can be appreciated by an age group that always had it? Or do you think they're just like, well, this is the way things are now, and I'm going to run it?
I, to be honest, don't fully know how to take this. The way that you guys in the US do college sports is way different than in Canada. It's so blown up and out of proportion. Now, in theory, when I'm looking into NIL, I'm like, okay, this is great. These kids can make some money off of their likeness, and it creates opportunities for these kids. But like you said, these are young kids. These are children to young adults who their frontal lobe hasn't developed yet. So that's a lot of power. It's a lot of opportunity, but it's a lot of opportunity to screw up publicly, right? And I was looking into kind of a similar situation, Coogan's Law. I don't know if you guys know what Coogan's Law is.
I've heard this. I've heard of this.
So Coogan's Law is in regard to child actors and how they get paid, the pay structure, so that these kids are entitled to the money when they become of age. And so I think in the States, or in most of the states, it's like 15%. It's not a huge amount, but that has to go into a trust so that when they become of age, they have access to that money, so the parents can't take that and run with it. I don't know if there's some sort of middle ground for these students to where they're seeing the money to make a living, but until they graduate, they can't have access to all of it. I don't know what the right way to do it is, but, what's his name, Arch Manning, I was looking into $6.8 million as a 20-something-year-old kid is... How is he supposed to know what to do with that money?
Beverly, this is why you're here. Catfish, I'm going to get to you. I know you want to jump in. I know. Just give me a moment.
He's biting at the bit right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to get to Catfish right after Sean. Sean, I know they were talking about player trusts for a moment before NIL went full Wild Wild West Rogue Squadron. Why do you think they never went that route of initiating a trust to give some of these players some protections?
My first thought is that they don't want to put any restrictions on the players because in any other position, because these players technically are grown. They're 18 and older, so they're grown. So that the idea of putting it in a trust and regulating their money seems like a violation of rights, if you will. I mean, somebody would say that why are you holding on to my money? It's my money. I can do whatever I want with it. I am yes, exactly. I'm a full grown adult. Give me my money. So I think that's why it hasn't been. You have to kind of tread lightly with that because people just don't. People don't want to hold their kids back. You know what I'm saying? Because they're adults. It's like, and it's more money than their parents have probably seen, unless you're like an Arch Manning, where he's been around money. His dad played, and his uncles, are famous and they've played. So I'm sure they have a little money. So he's probably an exception where he's getting this amount of money, and he's probably smart with it. But the average kid, like you and I were, and when we were going to college, if you gave me $6.8 million, my God, I don't know if I'd be here. So,
Listen, Sean, this is a great point, and I'll get to you, Fish. I just want to say this. You're talking about, I believe it's second and third generation
right.
players. Archie Manning, Keenan or Kyrian, Anthony, Bronny James, second generation. You're talking about they're going to be coached through from their
Sure.
parents and family about what to do. Deion Sanders' kid,
Shador.
Shador, they're going to know. For the rest of kids who are this first time touching paper like that, it's going to be a very different experience. Catfish, you have the floor.
You know, as we talked about it for some years now, and I'm so happy that they're actually making the money. But like you said, like with Archie Manning, 6.5, he have a family. They know what to do with the money. Um, but other kids that never had that type of money, that don't touch it. And the funny thing is, there's tiers, which I have. My nephew, brother is at Georgia, and he told me how much he makes, and I was like, okay,
Five figures or
like
six figures?
6 figures. So he came in and he's making 6 figures. But the thing is, with that, that's not even his NIL. That's the lump sum that comes from the school.
Oh, wow.
So
Right.
it's like all the kids get this amount of money. And once they branch out and start making, like, oh, this is one of the best players, then they start talking about NIL and, giving them sponsorship and things of that nature. Um, but there is a pros and cons with this. It's like you could come in as a freshman and they give you $2 million, right? Because you're a five
Hmm.
star, and but you don't play that year because you have somebody else that's ahead of you, like a senior that's better than you, and they could come back to you and say, "Yeah, you didn't play, so we're gonna bump that down." And so that's how you see all these transfer portals.
Yeah.
Everybody's leaving because it's like, "Yo,
Well,
I'm
don't
making."
get to transfer. Transfer portals our next segment, so that's a whole different thing. Stick with the money right now.
So now you're reneging on the money because you're like, hey, what you mean? You have this senior in front of me. Like, I knew I wasn't gonna play. You guys gave me this money. You can't
Hmm.
just now go say, oh, now instead of 2 million, I'm gonna give you 1 million. That's the situation that's going on right now. Is like you can't just give and take. If you're gonna give them that money, give them that money, and just that's why I think all these NIL deals are on a 1 year. It's basically a 1 year lease,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Catfish,
and
let me pop in there. You're making such a valuable point. Once you start bringing the money into the equation, because prior to this, and please believe, I was at the top of the mountain yelling how important it is for athletes to be remunerated in some way, shape, or form.
Hmm.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, once you bring this amount of dough into the game, it changes everything. Okay? You're getting money from the school. Catfish, I don't know if you know this. The amount of NIL that you can make as an athlete in school is uncapped.
yeah,
There is no cap. So there's the amount that you get from the school, and then the amount you earn on your popularity is uncapped. So you could literally be a multi-millionaire walking around outside on campus and trying to get a normal education. Bev, I don't know what type of person you were in your collegiate years. I'm going to ask you, what difference would that have made had you been a multi-millionaire athlete walking around? Would that have changed the way that you pursued education?
I would have been so stupid with that money. So stupid with that money. This is what I mean. And I just want to emphasize the fact that this is college students that we're talking about. Like, where does the shift from, like, this is my job and this is how I get paid, to this is my education, where do we draw the line in terms of what's most important here? And what's important to the schools? The lines are very blurred there. So it's a bit confusing, and that's why I'm concerned about these kids getting all this money. I would be foolish with it,
Yeah,
personally.
so what you're saying is, you give this kid this kind of money, there's gonna be shenanigans. There's gonna be shenanigans, right?
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like they're setting these kids up to fail potentially without having some sort of system in place that you're ensuring that this money is being appropriately utilized or saved, or and I understand what you were saying, Sean, about not coddling kids and putting that money into a trust, but I feel like there's got to be some sort of middle ground to protect these kids from just blowing all their money and also just making an ass of themselves. Giving a kid money is unlimited opportunities to make an ass of yourself, and you've got all eyes on you. You could screw up your education, you could screw up your your athletic career. It just feels a bit dangerous. I feel like there's got to be some middle ground there.
Bev, you make a great point. Sean, I don't even think she's even thinking about there's college athletes who got caught up in tax problems already. In having to pay back taxes. I mean, tax on $6 million is significant. I don't know if I was as worried about five-star athletes, even the old way, because five-star athletes were always going to be okay outside of injury. My primary worry was always for mid-range athletes. Okay, I don't even think that NIL is really taking care of the mid to lower range athlete like it was intended to.
You're absolutely right. It's just you see the five-star athletes, and they're getting a bulk of that money because they're popular. They're the ones that, honestly, with these sports programs, they're bringing more students to the school. And essentially, that's the school's advertising and marketing. Look at our games. Look at our football games. Look at our basketball games. Whatever sport's popular, the most popular there. Look at this. You want to come to this school. It's so much to do. So, with that being said, the lower level athletes or the middle of the road, they're not going to. They're not getting the type of money, and so they're kind of getting lost in the shuffle. Chances are they haven't seen that kind of money either. And then there's another problem. And like I said, I don't want to get into the transfer portal. But to Bev's point, yeah, they don't know what to do with it. Back in our day, parents send you off to school, okay, give you some, top ramen and and you know what I'm saying, and then set you up and you're good. You got cups of noodles for months on end. But
you're working at McDonald's on the weekends.
Exactly. But now
Right.
these kids, I mean, if the parents are smart, they got to hire a financial advisor. They got to get an attorney. They got to get all of these things because these kids don't know how to manage their money. They really don't.
Can I make
Catfish.
a point as well
Go ahead.
about you mentioned an attorney, and obviously we're talking about money, but also with that money and that power comes a lot of clout and a lot of eyes on you. And I feel like these kids are just, people are going to tear them to shreds at any given opportunity.
Sure. Absolutely.
And that's another way that I feel like you're setting these kids up for failure in a way without, should legal protection be part of those contracts, that sort of thing? How should they go about that?
Bev always with the rational concept. Catfish, we're going to start with you with five-star athletes. Obviously, we're always going to have more power to move the needle in what they wanted to do. Mid-tier to lower level athletes are using and misusing the portal. Again, I was a proponent of, hey, be able to jump and go wherever you like. How do you feel the transfer portal is changing the game where you could win a chip and be like, hey, I'm in the portal, because that's what it is now.
Since my team was just in a national championship and I follow,
Tell them who you
like,
love. Tell everybody who you love.
you see the hat, you know what it is?
The U.
It's all about the U.
The U is back.
Nah, it's crazy because back then, if you went to the Natty, if you went to the national championship, and you guys either won or lost, it was like, you know what, I'm coming back. We got to stick together, so we coming back. Now, with the NIL, what it's done, because it happened to Miami, a freshman, a defensive tackle, Simpson, he was slated to be the next man up. And he heard that some of the players were coming back in that position, like a redshirt senior. He was coming back for his 5th year. So he decided to leave and go to the transfer portal during the national championship, right before the national championship game. But what's going on, like that we're not talking about, now these kids have agents, right? So once you have an agent, your agent is in your ear saying, hey, so-and-so is making this amount of money. We can go to Missouri. Now they're poaching. Now they're having like other teams saying, hey, listen, we would give him XYZ if he jump out the portal right now and come in. So now there's a lot of like rigmarole going on in this
No.
transfer portal.
If you take the veil off the top, these are business moves. This isn't college, and I think that we're entering a brave new world of what college athletics is going to look like. In that, I mean, I think everyone here is old enough, even you, Bev, is old enough to have gotten a decent college education. Are they even getting a real education, Bev, or are they just being lit up to be business billboards?
Well, that's just it. That's kind of how I see it. When I see anything about college sports nowadays, aside from back in the day and in the movies, it's like we don't care about the education. And even in college sports stories, it's like I want to go play for that team. It's never I want to get this degree. So I don't see any sort of emphasis on the education part of college sports.
Right. Even if the education part will help you manage your money and be a better athlete or be a better agent or whomever, Sean, like those things aren't just going to go away just because you got the paper. You still have to understand what to do with it.
Right.
God forbid you get hurt.
True.
Thanks, Mom. God forbid you get hurt, baby. Yes, you're right. But you feel me, Sean?
Yeah.
Like there's other stuff at play here.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just such a the waters are really muddy when it comes to that, because these athletes like you say, they don't know what they're doing with this type of money. And then school, like the emphasis was on student. We hear student athlete, right? So the emphasis was on being a student. Now these guys are basically guns for hire, if you will. So they're able to go some mercenaries. Absolutely.
Almost like.
Yeah. I mean, really, think about it. And like you could argue for jumping in the transfer portal, like Catfish was talking about. You could argue against it, because if you argue for it, you just look at the coaches. Look at Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's got his team
Oh my God.
in the college football playoff, and they're like making a run, and LSU throws a bag of money at him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take the LSU job. It's more popular."
During the season,
and he just left. But he goes, "I want to coach my team." Hell no, I'm not letting you coach these guys. So you could pilfer these guys out and get them over to LSU. But
they put his clothes in the street.
Exactly. Sean. But here's the thing. He's well within his rights to do that. Coaches do it all the time. They leave and they're able to do it. So why can't the players do it? But them being able to do that, they're chasing, not even understanding how to handle their money. They're chasing that money. It's like, oh, I want
chasing
a better deal.
Yeah,
chasing
the bag.
Exactly. So it's
Catfish, you've been on TV, you've played football. What age do you think you were when you started getting a concept of what to do with your money? I know it wasn't at 18 or 19, which is college age.
Probably 30 something.
So well after college.
Yeah, well after college. But the thing is, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we went to school in different decades, like all of us.
Especially Bev.
Yeah, right. Like we didn't, like, let's say for instance now, right? I think a lot of these kids probably know what to do with their money, because if you're smart enough, you could look things. I'm not saying they all are, but
because they all driving luxury cars. B.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this.
Let me tell you something.
let me tell you something.
Everyone on this podcast, if you got into some type of money, you're going to do something dumb. You're gonna be like, "Yo, I got this bread. You get it out your system. Get it out your system."
Absolutely.
I'm not, because look,
hold on, Catfish. Let me pause you right here. I've touched a tiny bit of paper, and you know what I did with it. Sean,
took a private jet to the Super Bowl.
Right. Basically. Thanks, Bev, for bringing that up. That's right. He did rub that in our faces last time.
So that's what happened. Like it's like you're going to do something with it, and you just get it out your system. Now, let's say for Carson Beck, right? Carson Beck got 4.2 million. He has a Urus I'm like, but the thing is with Carson, he know he's going probably first
Right.
round.
Because he's a 5-star athlete. You're only proving my point.
Carson was not a five-star
Yeah,
athlete.
I wouldn't say that
Oh, he
either.
is now?
He's
Okay.
no. I'm
He's
saying
okay,
is
4-star.
all I'm saying.
4.5.
Some kid. I would hope their agent like saying, "Hey man, you have this money. It's not gonna last long. Do this or invest," because agents can do that. But then again, they got these straight street agents that don't care. It's my
Yep.
uncle. It's my cousin.
Will
He
you
want
please pitch?
5%.
Yep.
Just like right now with a kid named Jordan Seaton. He left Colorado. He's a 5-star offensive lineman. LSU wanted him. Miami wanted him. Oregon wanted him. And so he's over here with his street agent of an uncle, and they're going back and forth. And he want to get paid like a quarterback. So now LSU get him, and he's making like $5 million. Now this kid doing all this, going to Mississippi State, listening, and every time he goes on a visit, he makes $40K. Like he's some rapper going on tour.
Wow.
Speaking of rappers, one of my favorite female athletes in college still is Flaujae Johnson from LSU. I think last summer she got a bag and she purchased a bunch of property in Atlanta. Catfish, we talk about this all the time. Like if you buy a parking lot, you'll never be poor.
Right.
Like she just bought a whole bunch of land and she's going to develop it into a community because she touched that much paper. She clearly has the correct team around her for that guidance to make those type of decisions. I don't think everybody's getting that same guidance, Bev.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, while Catfish was talking about, should it be the responsibility of the schools to be providing these kids with a financial advisor and a tax lawyer and all of that sort of, like, should it be mandatory for these kids when they're getting this money to be sitting down and not being told what to do with it, but at minimum, this is the type of stuff that you should be considering. Like, it's a lot to throw at a kid with no financial literacy.
To Bev's point, I think that absolutely needs to be in place to have somebody that's going to help navigate that. Now, I would say the colleges need to say, okay, you need to bring somebody with you. With this kid, we're recruiting you. You're coming to school. We need you to bring some type of financial advisor that's going to help us navigate it. Or if you don't have one, we'll like the courts do. If you don't have an attorney, we'll appoint one to you or for
Provide
you.
one for you. Yep.
So something like that. I totally agree with that because it's a lot of money and a lot of stuff to navigate, and these players don't know. They're like Catfish said, to his point, they're going to do something stupid, and then oftentimes that could snowball. You do this one thing and then you do another thing, and then before you know it,
Stripper and
oh yes,
Oh, strippers.
absolutely.
That'll never file out.
So
I tell you this, I think if these schools really cared and they knew they were about to give these kids all this money, they would have said, all right, cool, all these student athletes, they actually have to take a financial class. We don't want them to go mandatory. We don't want them to go in and go
You're part of a
willy-nilly.
business now.
Right. But see, this is the thing though. I think these schools don't really care because it's like that's chump change to them. It's like we making hundreds of millions of dollars off the back of these students.
Yeah.
I don't care. They could do whatever they want with their money. Oh, they're not going to listen
Can
to
I make
us.
a point to that though? Because you're giving these kids all this money, and with that, the opportunity to make your school look really, really bad.
Ooh.
I would think that they would want to take that responsibility on, at least to some degree, protect themselves to some degree. I feel like it's great for both parties.
And I would agree with that. But these schools don't even care. They don't care about that. It's not going to really make them look that bad because that's a small portion that they're working with, the athletes that are making these and getting these NIL deals. So it's a very small portion. Their biggest thing, the way they make their hundreds of millions of dollars, is really getting the average college kid to come there because of that experience that they're going to witness. Them, this school with a chance to go to a national championship. That's where the big money is. That's a drop in the bucket for that NIL money to give that to them. So they really don't care. In my opinion.
Sean, does anyone want to guess what the total NIL payout for 2025 was? Anybody have any
I
guesses?
have no idea. It sounds like a lot.
Tens of
250 million.
millions.
What'd you say? Fish?
250 million.
If you're funny, it was right around $2 billion.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It's kind of an inconceivable number
hold up.
It is
for,
really is.
for children to
2
be
billion
having access
with
to.
a
That's
B?
wild.
I said
Oh.
the estimate is between 1.9 and 2.5 billion dollars. Catfish, go ahead.
See, I don't believe that they with their estimates and
Fake news.
this is all fake estimates and talking about, oh yeah, 1 point. I could say I just made estimate of 18 million. No, like I said, how the money is trickled down. It's like you have the hierarchy of quarterbacks, and there's only that many Power Four schools. So
Yeah,
Harvard is
yeah.
not spending that type of money. Dartmouth or UCLA or Stanford is not, some of these schools are not spending that type of money. Yes, they have a pot, but I don't believe 1.5 to $2 billion. Like that's if with somebody that's blind that don't understand NCAA, that
Yeah.
would mean so that means D3, D2, D1, D1 AA, they're all just making this type of money. It's
Well,
BS.
it is an estimate, right? Even
Estimate.
on the low end of the estimate, even if you're at $1 billion, that's $1,000 million. So it is a lot of
Right.
money. Closing statements before we get out of here. We'll start with you, Sean.
Yeah, I would just say it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. I think it's just, I mean, seriously, it really is. I mean, there's so much that you can do, but there's two sides of it. Yeah, we need to put things in place to make sure that they don't lose their money. But hey, I'm an adult. Who are you to tell me how to use my money or do whatever I want with my money? And then there's the transfer portal. Like, we don't want these kids, to transfer. But coaches do it all the time. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And not everyone's going to be happy when it does get addressed.
Catfish. Closing statement.
I'm there with Sean, but I think what's gonna happen is 10 to 15 years from now, somebody's gonna say, "Hey man, how much was your NIL?" Oh man, I made about 6-7 million. What about you? Really? I only make $300,000. So
Oh, really? I only made $300,000.
it's like,
You're saying there's
oh,
going to be depreciation.
there's gonna be depreciation. They're gonna find a way to put a cap on it. I didn't know the money was gonna be this stupid,
Yeah.
but you're gonna have to find a cap space and be like, look, we can't go above X for everybody. If you're a baller, I could give you 3 million, you could get 3 million, but don't say, oh, because you're the quarterback, I'm gonna give you 6, and you're the best defense of player or whatever, and I'm gonna give you $1 million, $2 million.
So
It
what you're
becomes
saying
like
is
the NFL.
You're saying that there's going to be some caps coming in the near future, and
It-
this
as-
type of money is not going to be here in 2030.
No, no.
Okay. Bev, final statement.
I 100% think that they should be paying these kids, but I also think that they should be giving them the resources to set them up for success. I also think that treating your college career as a professional career in sports, there's got to be a balance there. And tying these kids' worth to how much money they make on the court or on the field is the psyche. It's like you were saying, Catfish, it's going to screw up some kids, I think. There needs to be a balance.
Oh my God. 3 fantastic points. Oh my God. We could talk about this for hours, honestly, if I wasn't the one editing it. But the reality is, I don't think any of you are wrong. I think, Sean, I think you're right. I think at the end of the day, it's going to continue to get worse until they put up guardrails. Fish, I think you literally hit the nail on the head. By 2030, you're going to ask about all that dough they was making in 2025, 2026, and they're going to think you was crazy. And Bev, your college career is absolutely not a professional career, no matter how you structure it. It's a time for you to grow and learn and become who you are as a human being. I appreciate you around for episode 12. Remember, like, subscribe, all of those things they tell you to do on the internet. Remember to share this podcast with your friends and frenemies. When people hate you, they talk shit about you, so please share it with them. For Sean, Bev, and Catfish, we will catch you on the flip side.